Ho, ho, ho. We're back. It's the Dixon Diet Coke's holiday edition.
Slay.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
Slaps. Okay, I'll be honest though.
It doesn't slap like the can. We
It
already
doesn't
discussed
slap
this. I mean, I didn't know that there was a thing.
There's a hierarchy of Diet Coke. I can't believe you don't know and respect it.
I'm just really happy that Santa's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday edition. Holiday edition.
Cute, cute, cute. All right. Heidi. It's been a year since Heidi has been back.
Was I your first? I was your virgin Dixon Diet Coke?
I think you were. And then we did a couple with other people, but the Dixon Diet Cokes, yeah, you were my first. You're the
It's always the first you remember.
Absolutely. That's why I had you just keep coming back.
Yeah.
You always love your first, you know?
Yeah, for real.
For real. Okay, so it's been a freaking year.
Has been.
If you guys don't know, Dixon Diet Cokes is where we sip Diet Cokes, talk about dating, not about the actual,
Member.
size.
We're just going to say member.
Yeah, just dating.
Yeah, dating.
Okay.
It's just this and yap.
Just Diet Coke and yap.
Yeah.
About boys. So it's been a freaking year.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't even remember the last time you were on what I was dating. I've come a long ways. I've had a lot of growth.
Same.
I don't have bouts of delusion. I don't lust after men that don't want me. Holla! I'm pretty good at walking away now.
Things have, changed for me as well. I mean, I want to say like in the beginning of 2024, first couple of months, I was just, I was wilding out.
I love that.
I was just like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
So that was your 2024 going into it.
Yeah. But very rapidly, like I think it was right after I went to Nashville.
Okay.
With my best friend, and I had my body weight in tequila and cowboys. And so
body weight in tequila and cowboys.
Accurate.
Yeehaw.
Yes.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've never ridden a horse, but the point in that saying is that after that little bit of time that I took to just have a really, really good time, I was like, I'm going to detox from everything.
Yeah.
And I did not date from like February to Cinco de Mayo.
Okay, so a good 3 months.
Yeah. I didn't drink. I didn't date. I was like, I took.
I love that.
Yeah, a little bit of time. And then,
sober from everything, boys and alcohol.
Yes.
Love.
And then on Cinco de Mayo, I had my first margarita and my first one night stand.
Shut up. Wait, you've never in all of your life?
No. I mean back from the dead.
Back from the dead. Okay.
Yes, back from the dead. I just had to clean the palate.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
And then I dated a little bit. Like I went maybe on another 2 or 3 dates, and then I actually met somebody that I really liked.
Oh, I love that. And I think I saw you around that time.
And I had kind of fallen in love for a little bit. But problem with that was that he was younger.
Okay, we have a lot of let's talk about it. Talk to me.
So
talk to me.
He was 39, never been married, no kids. And
do you think that's a red flag?
No, I don't think it's
I don't think it is either, but a lot of people are like, I'm like, I don't think it's a red flag. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's just where he was in his life.
Yeah, for sure.
And my problem is that on the very first date, I was like, okay, so I'm done with that phase in my life. Is that a deal breaker for you, or do you want to? Do
you have kids? Or are you talking about what are you talking about?
Yeah, I had kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, my kids are 21 and 18 now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're adult, and so I don't want to start over that chapter,
right,
or that season in life. Like I don't want to have kids now, because I will be turning 48 this June.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. I don't want.
We don't need to be like Janet Jackson.
I don't want to be changing nappies in my late 50s and 60s. It's like not a thing. So anyway, and he had, he said, yeah, no, it's not a thing. I'm not 100% sure where I'm at with that. And whatever. Okay. And then about a month into us dating pretty heavily, like he started to change his mind. And he was like, I see how you are as a parent, and I think that I'm missing the opportunity of having what I want in my life, which is a wife and a family of my own, whatever.
Right.
We dated for about 3 months, and then finally that became the biggest issue.
Which I think is what you run into with the younger. Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to resent you for not having what I want, and I don't want you to resent me for starting over.
Right.
And so it was understandable, but it was
painful.
Deep cut. Yeah. Pretty deep cut.
Was it triggering or was it just a deep cut because it was like, damn, this guy's perfect except for that?
Every single thing was triggering. So I started, because it was the first time, I think, since my marriage that I allowed myself to be fully vulnerable and not guarded.
Okay.
And I connected with him on so many levels that I feel like I got to see all of my triggers pop up in real time for the first time.
Yeah.
Because it's not until you are relating to someone that you will see exactly what you've been made of for the last.
Well, that's why I think being in a really good relationship is probably the most triggering mirror work. I mean, you can, it's easy to heal when you're alone.
Yeah, because you're not seeing any of it. You're not facing it. You're not having to exercise or practice any of those things. Yeah. So I remember like one of the very first things that triggered for me was he was like, I'm going to have a business trip. I'm going to be gone for like 10 days. And I was like, this is not a you thing, it's a me thing, but I'm really fucking triggered by that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, well, you can't project your past onto me. And I was like, it's not a projection.
That's
I'm just
true.
letting you know what is coming up for me. Like
Right.
I'm triggered by it. And so we can see it and discuss it and find some commonality to where, whatever. But I knew that it was about me. And I was like, look, I already booked my session with my therapist. Like, I feel it. I know it. I know it's not a you thing, but I think it's good that you express that to him, because that's really what it is. Like, I'm not trying to project my past on you. Right. I'm just letting you know to help me put me more into a secure place. Well, and time will either promote or expose you. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Gather that information. So, for sure.
The fact that there was a little bit of defense and it wasn't like a safe place for me to land that's an interesting observation. Was an indication of what was to come. Moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't see it at the time, right?
Right.
But it obviously did come up, again and again after,
Yeah.
So, and there were definitely different things, the way that I handled things, the way that he handled things, that we were just like, it just wouldn't have worked long term.
Right.
But I learned a lot during that time. And I, for the first time, felt, okay, like, you know what? I thought that vulnerability and love was not possible for me where I was anymore. And so talking again about the conundrum of the age thing, right? Mm-hmm. Being where I am as a woman about to turn 48, grown children, fully realized in my person, mm-hmm. in my ambitions, mm-hmm. in my life, secure, confident, it poses a problem in that energetically, I'm very vibrant.
Yeah, both you and I are not our ages, right? Energetically, yeah.
Yeah. So there's fun, there's youth, there's stamina, mm-hmm. there's all this stuff, mm-hmm. and so we are probably drawing in the younger men due
Absolutely.
to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also a level of experience and no fucks given.
Yeah.
Along with that vibrance.
Well, and it's just maturity. Like, you can just speak to me. Like, there's no games. Yeah. There's no games at our age.
Yeah. And so I think that calls to younger men to a certain degree, because they're like, this woman knows exactly who she is not afraid to tell me what she wants, can be in her body, can be confident, she can take it or leave it, and they're drawn to that.
Yeah.
But then the conundrum is that they want families and, and marriage and all the things that we have already experienced and seasoned that we're not quite ready for or wanting.
I'm open to having more babies.
Okay.
So I'm in a different position.
Yeah.
I'm open to having more babies, and I really do want to get remarried.
Okay.
It's not ideal for my age, but like, I'm still late 30s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to have to happen.
I'm not opposed to marriage again.
Yeah, I really want to get remarried for multiple reasons. For me, I felt like because of my religion, I got married. It was not for me. It was something that I felt like culturally I had to do. I was not allowed really to live with a partner. I was not allowed to have sex before marriage.
To explore all of those
things, so the normal thing is you meet someone and you're like, you're cool, like you're cute, like let's get married. So I even talked to my mom. I was like, she was like, you could have, like, I'm like, not really. Not at that point. I think it's changed, you know, culturally now. But when I was at that age, this was like 2004, like, no, I didn't have like, I would have been shamed by community. I would have been gossiped about. So yeah, like for me, I got married. I'm grateful. The partner that I chose was a really good person and a good dad, even though he shit on me this year, but it's fine. We're working through it. For me, getting remarried is a really big deal for me. Cause I feel like I'm who I am fully, authentically. So for me to get remarried, it would be like that. It's on my terms. So I do want to get remarried, but that's because I don't feel like my first marriage was more influenced. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for it. Yeah. The chapter was fine, but I don't think it necessarily was for me.
Right. I mean,
it was for everybody else. Yeah.
I'm 100% open to marriage again.
Yeah.
I don't find it necessary.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I had that season in my life.
Right.
But I do want someone that I can share life with, like a partner that I can have as a sounding board, as a safe place.
Right.
I love intimacy and nurturing and taking care of someone. I know that one of our biggest videos is the one about me wanting to make a man muffins, you know?
Yeah. So Heidi went viral for her. She hooks up with a man. She wants to make him muffins. Yeah. The reactions to that was so funny. Cause like, guys, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
It's a joke. It's satire. Like, yeah, everyone's like, I don't want to do anything for him. I'm like, dude, it's a joke. Like, it's just saying it's the sentiment of like, we are nurturers. Yeah. We are lover girls. We are relationship girlies. Yeah. I'm not meant for these streets. Like, but I'm not gonna freaking make you muffins. Cause like, you know, we had a good romp. Like, come on.
I mean, I might.
She might. I'm not going to make you muffins.
Love baking. I'm just kidding.
I don't. No. Like, we hook up, I'm not making you muffins. Heidi will make you muffins.
I mean, I am. I'm an active service girly. And so, like,
yeah, I love that. It's your love language.
But I want to do that, like, down the line. I don't do it at first. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the reaction, those comments, you take a scroll down those comments, dude. That video, it went viral on TikTok, and people are just, some people, like, laugh. They get it. And some people are like, this is ridiculous. And then some men are like, where are these women at? I'm like,
here we are.
We be hiding.
Here we are.
So that's really hard. That's hard.
Yeah, it was a hard place. But then in addition to that, so they match me energetically, stamina wise, like vibrancy or whatever. Yeah. So when I had to go back to the drawing table, right, I dated another guy that was younger, but he already had a child, and he was like, I don't want any more. But there was some other like issues for me with consistency.
Okay.
And making time. And so, I mean, I'm into dating to be with someone.
Right. You're intentionally dating.
Not to not see or hear from you. Like, what's the point?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was the one in that arena that had to be like, I am not interested in this connection any further.
Yeah.
You know, be well, best of luck, but I'm not into this.
Yeah.
You know? So then that was really when I went back to the drawing board. And I mean, I'm sure this is super relatable for women of all ages, that you get to the point where you're like, all right, well, my picker is off.
Yeah.
So let me choose differently than what I have been up until this point.
Right.
So my type has always been...
Don't tell me it's like they look like felons. I have too many friends that look their types.
Listen, I'm here for that. I really am. I like a fit man.
Yeah. Well, you're so fit. Hello.
Darker complexion, tattooed, you know, well spoken. Like, I enjoy a hot dude. Like, hot, young,
absolutely,
young, like that.
Wow.
Those are my things. And I had been.
I like the rhyme. Would you say young, hung?
Yeah, young and hung. So that was what I was looking for. So I said, maybe let's try something new.
I love it. Just be open, for sure.
So I ended up matching with an individual. Notice that I didn't call him a man, right?
I love that. She matched with an individual, a human, not a man.
Of the male gender.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Oh, I love, okay. All right. Oh,
so
hold on. I feel like there's some tea. I gotta sip.
Cause this was real fucking recent too. So,
okay. So you met an individual.
I met an individual. about to turn 50. So 2.5 years older than me.
You would think.
And I was like, okay, so this is definitely not the norm for me.
Perfect.
I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone and thinking outside of the box a little bit.
Right.
But there were commonalities, right, that I enjoyed. He was intelligent. He was successful, his own business. You know, he was a handsome man,
right?
You know, lots of banter and chemistry in that. And so we went out on our first date. The date went great. It was over like 3 hours, eating, talking, drinking a little bit. Instantly made plans for a few days later.
Perfect.
Had another interaction and then had another beautiful date. I went away for 3 days for business.
Okay.
Was still in communication. I mean, there were definitely signs and already some communication that I was like collecting data.
That's all. That's the thing, guys. Like I just sit back and observe.
Right.
They will show you.
Yeah, there was
just
definitely
give it time.
some things.
We're in the observation.
So there was a little bit of love bombing.
Okay.
And there's a part of me, and I know that there's a lot of women that feel this too, that feel, of course he would think that I'm awesome.
Why wouldn't he be obsessed with me?
Exactly. I am awesome. I'm a fucking unicorn on this app.
No,
so
literally.
It makes sense that he wants to wrangle it in, right?
But it's always like, whoa.
And then sometimes you have to sit back and be like,
yeah, you don't know me.
It's a little too soon to be trying to say those things.
Right.
However, moving forward, I went on that business trip, was still in like really, really good communication, came back from said business trip at like midnight, went to work the next morning to teach yoga at 7 a.m. So notice the time is very, very short, but I'm making effort. Right. So I finished work and my brother was flying in that evening to stay with me for a week.
Okay, fun.
So I had literally a block of about an hour and a half.
Right.
On that day when I got back from my trip to see him.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, why don't you come to my place, watch me cook, we can talk. And I was like, sounds great. That's a lovely thing.
Can I ask you, had you guys hooked up yet?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was like cooking dinner.
Well, also
he's going to eat you for
he was
dessert.
A personal chef. So,
oh, sweet. Oh,
so
cool.
Doing,
okay. That makes,
his meal prep.
Every time a guy's like, do you want to come over and I'll cook you dinner?
I know. No, I know.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Am I dessert?
I'm always dessert, by the way.
Well, for sure. But it's like.
Anyway.
All right. So an hour and a half gap.
Needless to say, I watched him cook for a bunch of time. I then go pick up my brother and he was like, well, when can I see you again? And I said, well, my brother's here in town and I see him twice a year. But if you're open to it, maybe you'd come out with us for dinner.
Yeah.
Again, I'm showing effort, right?
Like I want to see you making it work, right? Okay. Right.
So in this week and a half that we've been dating, seeing each other, lots of dates, one hookup so far, whatever, he's made comments already about insecurities.
Of his or?
His.
Ugh. Yeah.
Where he said things like, you know, I almost canceled tonight because you can have any guy that you want and you're so hot. And
that's not attractive. And got to be confident.
I was also, the thing is that he is a super confident person, but I brought out a lot of those insecurities.
Which again, we talk about relationships. That's what it does. Yeah.
So I said, hey, let's not do that. Like I am choosing to be here. I love that. To spend time with you.
Sure. I can get other guys, but I'm choosing to be here. I want to be with you.
Because I'm not going to diminish the fact that I do have the possibility to have other guys in my life.
Yeah.
But, you know, because I'm not going to say, oh no, that's not the truth. I'm not really that cute. Like,
right. No.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes. I know my worth. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. Yes. Those are all true. However, I am choosing to spend my time with you.
Right.
And I'm showing you with my actions and my effort.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah.
And then he would make comments of like, I don't know if I can keep up with you.
Do you feel like he was self-sabotaging?
100%.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we have that night with my brother. It was great. It was lovely. We had so much fun.
Did your brother like him?
Yeah. My brother thought he was a really nice guy.
Cool.
I spent the night. And then the next morning, he brings me back to my place.
Yeah.
And I had planned an entire day-long event for my best friend's birthday. Spa day, like
so fun.
Dinner. We had also slated drinks in the evening where her boyfriend was then going to come.
Yeah.
And some of the other girls as dudes were going to show up.
Yeah.
So I invited him.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Hey, there's going to be guys come in. Do you want to meet us out for drinks? Now, up until that point, he had arranged everything every time we had done anything. Every date, ordered my entire meal for me, just the way that I like it, with all of my quirks. Yeah. Also, don't come for me for saying like a lot, by the way, because I did read that comment and I was annoyed by it.
Wait. Say that again?
Like, because I said like.
Whatever.
You're too old to be using like.
Oh, I love it. What was that on TikTok or Instagram?
It was on TikTok. I'm also too old to be wearing.
They're so savage.
Midriff tops and
someone called me a 5 the other day. Like at this point, I'm kind of turned on by like the negative comments.
Who cares, right?
Like it kind of like it's like a weird sick. Like I'm like, ooh, okay. I don't know. I used to like want to cry. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Someone said someone said that I was making a joke that younger guys like want older women, and he was like, you're like perimenopause or like in menopause. And I was like this close to engaging because I had something funny to say back, like witty, like, okay, boomer or something, whatever, like get your eyes checked. But
I am in perimenopause, and you know what? Younger dudes do want that because our drive is higher. So take that.
But I was like, oh, okay. Like, okay. Anyways, all right, continue. I love the haters. I call them Cheeto keyboard warriors. If you leave me a mean comment, you're a Cheeto fingered keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Facts. And sometimes I get turned on by it because it's
I don't, sick. But I could care less. I just wanted to say that it is okay at any age to use whatever fucking language you want to use.
Say that again. Say that again.
I don't even know if I can repeat that at this point. Just
at this age, she can use whatever language she wants.
Any.
The whole first season, I said 100%, like 100% of the time. And then we should have done a drinking game for it because it was so embarrassing. I'm like 100%. Now, second season, I catch myself saying, I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's a thing.
Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. We're having a conversation.
Shut up.
Diet Cokes and yaps.
Diet Cokes and yaps.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back
Leave
to
us
this
alone.
dude.
Okay.
So we go out that night. The girls are already girling. We're kikiing. We're drinking.
Yeah,
shots have been had. We meet up to have drinks at that, but I've arranged for everything. So the place that we went to was at the Fountain Blue. I have 3 clients that all work at that place that we were going to. So my girls were obviously gonna meet me.
You're a good friend. How fun.
Take care of me, like that kind of thing, right? So I walk up and he follows me. I walk up to check us in, and the girl that checked us in was like, oh my God, you taught me yoga. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't remember you.
Yeah.
And so we were having like a moment, and he was just kind of standing there, whatever. And I said, I also was super mindful. I was like introducing him to everybody, right? Introducing to everybody, making sure that he was like by me, with me, whatever.
Like felt included. You're hosting though, so
in charge.
Right.
We go to the back. The girls start bringing us drinks. He sits down next to me. He was like, this is really awkward. Should I like not even be here?
Why?
Exactly. And I was like, why would you say that? Like everything is fine.
Yeah. Like the attention wasn't on him?
I think.
But you're a freaking host. Like, that's a red flag. Can't hang, just chill.
Oh, it gets better. The whole thing gets better. One of the girlies was a little over the top drunky and was being extra, and he kept making snide comments under his breath. And so at that point,
how awkward for you. You're like, that's my friend.
The thing is that these were my best friend's colleagues from work. They're not my people.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even more, I said, hey, these aren't my people.
Yeah.
We're just celebrating.
This is for your friend.
We're just celebrating my best friend. So I said, can we please go to the bathroom and have a moment?
Yeah.
Will you come with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so as we walk over to the bathroom, I'm like, you good? So I'm checking in.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. She's just being, and I said, yeah, well, you don't know what people are going through. She's been through a lot this year. She doesn't get out much. So just,
let her just be.
Chill. Just chill. Like, we're here to have a good time and have drinks.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Are we going to have a good time and have drinks? And then he was still like, yeah, everything's fine. But he had that energy about him the entire time that we were there. So
it's not attractive.
I had arranged for the bestie to have a room and for her and her dude to leave to go have fun. That night. I had to leave early the next morning with my brother to drive to California.
Yeah.
So at this point, I look at him and I say, hey, do you want to head out early?
Yeah.
I will leave with you. You can take me to my car. Da, 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 da. He said, yeah, okay. In the car,
yikes.
We're like checking in a little bit, like talking, but nothing crazy, right?
Right.
Nothing crazy. I leave. I checked in that night. I sent him a message. I said, hey, thank you so much for the ride. It was great to see you tonight. I'll check in with you throughout the day tomorrow while I'm on my trip with my brother.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, my pleasure. Sounds good. Whatever. So throughout the day while I'm gone with my brother, but the communication had shifted and I'm very intuitive.
Yeah, so am I. I know immediately when energy's off.
So I could tell that something was dynamically different now.
Right.
From 1 second to the next, literally from that experience.
Yeah, me and you are very, very intuitive. I know immediately.
So then Monday I'm driving home and I said, hey, have a great day. I'm getting on the road. And he was like, oh, I thought you were back in Vegas already. And I said, no, why? You miss me?
Cute.
As one does when you're flirting with someone that you like.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And he said, I think we need to talk when you get back into town.
Oh my gosh.
And so I said, I figured. I had kind of an intuition about it. I kind of sensed it. And he said, yeah. And I said, when? He said, when what? I said, when do you want to talk? And he was like a laundry list of his things that he had to do and that didn't have time until Wednesday.
Okay.
This is Monday. And so right after that, then he sends me like a long paragraph.
Okay.
Long paragraph. And the paragraph started with the sentence, it's nothing too extreme.
This man's 50 years old.
It's nothing too extreme.
Okay.
I think we both have very big personalities and this won't work long term.
Okay. Okay.
While I'm driving 4 hours from California to Las Vegas, he decides to throw this paragraph. It gets worse. The paragraph gets worse. Continues to say, I felt insignificant when I came up to see you.
At the party? Mm-hmm. Yes, because you are not the main character, my boy. Hello?
I felt insignificant, and then continues to say, you have a tendency to make me feel like you're doing me a favor by being with me.
Yeah, okay.
I want my relationships to feel mutual, and I don't think that it is. Honestly, I don't think this even warrants an in-person conversation.
Wow. Okay. So how'd you respond to that?
So I was driving, obviously. So
were you the one driving or your brother?
I was driving. I was literally driving.
So what, do you like give your phone to your brother? Like,
no. I can like voice text into my watch. So I hit the message. And
are you with your brother still too? Yeah, he's in the...
Yeah, I'm with my brother. He didn't read the message or anything like that, but I talk into my watch and I said, I'm driving at the moment, so I want to take my time and reply with care.
Oh, I love that. And
so I left that. When we did our stop so that my brother can get food and go to the bathroom, whatever, I stayed in the car and I replied. And then I kind of gave the receipts as to how I showed effort. I've never in my life made anyone feel insignificant. On the contrary,
right.
Every person that comes into my space, I pride myself on making them feel special and wanted and nurtured and cared for.
Right.
I went out of my way to introduce him to everybody. I went out of my way to check in with him. We had no issues, no arguing in any capacity, but he like cut for the hills and ran, right? and then wanted to shift and project the blame onto me.
Right.
So anyway, I sent that message, and I said, at the end of it, I said, let me know if you'd like to discuss further.
Never heard from him. No.
Not only did I never
hear his ego, and that it's just, yeah.
Well, not only did I never hear from him again, he unfollowed me on social media.
Wow, you got under him
at 50. And
I have so many thoughts.
And then the thing is that he's a content creator.
Oh.
So I opened TikTok, and I'm still following because I'm not an infant.
I just spilled Diet Coke on my. Well, I think it's fine. The show must go on.
The show must go on.
I got really excited about that, you guys. I spilled all my Diet Coke on my couch. That's fine. Whatever. Okay.
So yeah, so he unfollowed me. But I didn't unfollow because I'm not a child.
Okay, I have one quick thought, sidetrack.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you're going to unfollow me, remove me as a follower. I am not a fan.
I mean, I don't give a shit.
I think it's so weird. If you're literally going to unfollow me, remove me as a follower. I don't care. Like, I'm not here. Like, I'm following you because we're like mutual. Like, I'm not here to literally remove me as a follower.
See, I disagree with that.
You disagree? Okay.
I don't have a problem with following. And here's why. The only person that I blocked was the dude that I actually fell in love with after we split up.
Okay.
Because he was moving on.
Got it. And you didn't want to see that? Yeah, I get that.
I blocked him because I needed some space for my own mental health. Mm-hmm. And then I very rapidly unblocked him once I felt like I was in a better place. You know what I mean? And sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, how you been?" He goes, "Blocked."
He knew it. That's hilarious.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I said I needed the space, and he was like, I was really mad about it. I'm like, I understand you had a right to be. I was also really mad and just needed a little bit of space. Like, I'm over my bullshit.
But I love that you explained it.
But my thing with that is that karmically, I feel like that just puts negative energy out into the world. So I won't block you. I won't unfollow you. I'm an adult. I don't really even care about that.
Blocking's different than unfollowing, though. I have only blocked one guy in my entire life, and he deserved it. It was my bad pancake. I talk about you.
I remember the bad pancake.
The bad pancake. Yeah, you were around. That guy was nuts. I don't even need to talk about what he did, but yeah, like blocking's aggressive. But I've only done it one time, and that guy deserved it.
I enjoy this man's content.
Honestly. Okay, good.
And so I don't.
I respect that. I respect that.
I don't have a problem with it. But here's the problem with it. So when you open TikTok, if you are still following and they go live, all of their stuff starts popping up on your feed, and their live starts popping up. So I ended up accidentally listening in on one of his lives.
You clicked it and you're in the live and he can see you join.
I don't even know because a lot of people follow him and a lot of people join. So he may not even know that I was in. But he started talking about how the problem with dating is that very rapidly the girls start to like him more than he likes them, and then he gets uninterested. And so I was like,
oh, cool.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, no, that's not a fact.
It's not the fact that you're insecure as fuck and you ran for the hills.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah.
And social media is so fake, though.
And then there's whatever. The next day, he posts a story, and he literally said something that I said to him.
Shut up.
He showed up in this jacket, and I was like, oh, it's giving da-da-da-da vibes or whatever.
And that's what you said to him.
And yeah. And he thought it was cute and laughed at it. And that was a week ago. And then yesterday on his story was like, hey guys, let me know. Is this giving this vibes? The exact thing that I said. And so there's a part of me that really wants to retaliate.
I think that's what he would love.
It's the Scorpio energy in my rising that makes me want to just venom his ass so hard. But I'm never going to do it because it doesn't make sense to do that karmically. There's so many ways. It doesn't make sense,
and it poisons you at the end of the day.
I mean, and there's so many ways where I could have had a lot to say.
For sure. That's been the theme this whole entire year. The things that I have not been able to say that I could say, that I want to say, but at the end of the day,
it's not beneficial.
It's not beneficial to me. And every single time I bring it up, it brings this, it's upsetting to me. And it's like karmically, yeah, like it's poisoning me, you know?
Yeah.
With him, I know you enjoy his content, but at this point, is it just triggering to you? I feel like you should unfollow or mute him. Mute him.
I think that I'll be fine.
Okay, I love it.
I mean, literally, it's like happened this week. It's been 6 days. You know.
Oh, okay. This just, yeah.
Yeah, it literally just happened. So, and the fact that I'm able to watch it and feel the feel, and then be like, nah.
Right. So I think it shows you too. That man was a 50-year-old man. He has lived for 50 years.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not think age matters at this point. It's about your spirit, your energy, your
and that's
emotional.
What we were talking about in terms of like, so the younger guy that I was with had more emotional depth and capacity and told me like, hey, this is not a you thing. This is just the bigger picture doesn't align for us.
Right. So,
and he was younger than me. And this 50-year-old man could not own his shit. Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, I've got a dad bod and I was going to be really mean. Let me not. I'm gonna backtrack. What I want to say.
Yeah. Hold on. Should I be like sing Enya right now? Who can say what?
So I'm not going to say that, what I want to say, but I let my insecurities get the better of me, and I'm going to self-sabotage everything that I ever receive.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I'm saying. So, okay.
So age does not matter. It's
let's
really
talk about this.
About awareness.
It's about, okay. So
are you going to talk for a while? Cause I'm going to take a bite of my beef.
Yeah, I'm going to talk for a while about age. So, I mostly date younger guys. The reason being is a couple reasons. I got married as a child. I did not date very much at all before I got married. So for me, people are like, date your own age. Why? One, why? Two, a second. I feel like mentally being single after a really long-term relationship that you were with since a child, that you didn't date a lot. I dated one guy before my ex-husband. It puts me in a position where mentally I'm experiencing the dating scene fresh, like the 20s. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm out here trying to go buck wild. I'm actually not. I want to have fun, but I do want to get remarried. I believe in marriage. Like, I think it's amazing, whatever. So I'm not trying to get buck wild crazy like in the 20s, but I'm talking about like I'm experiencing dating from a very young perspective. And so it puts me very weird. Like the older men who have a lot of experience in dating, like they're kind of older and jaded a little bit, and it's weird. And I'm not.
They're beyond jaded.
They're beyond jaded, and it's a very weird energetic thing. So, but I'm also so open to whoever I'm supposed to be with.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like, but I will say that for me, I feel mentally like kind of more in my 20s, mentally dating wise, because this is very new. Yes, exactly. But I also have life experience where I have 2 children and I was married for a really long time. And I know like long-term relationships. I know what it takes to make marriage work. I know what it takes to compromise. Like I have some wisdom and experience in that way, but dating wise, I am not my age biologically at all, and energy and all that stuff. So, but I will say, like, genuinely, like, age does not matter unless it's that situation where they want kids, you don't want kids, or you're unable to have kids, or there's that gap like that. But I've had a 45-year-old man ghost me because he couldn't have just a normal conversation. Mm-hmm. I've had a guy in his late 30s not even be able to take the lead and like plan a date, and then got his ego hurt when he literally texted me, planned a date like that week, didn't text me till the day of, and it was like late out, like it was in the afternoon, like, are we still on tonight? And you never told me a time, where to meet you. I can't teach you how to date. You are a literal adult man in your 30s, right? So age doesn't matter. So I just I met a guy and we talked about it on a podcast. I will call him Airplane Boy. I met him on an airplane, ended up dating him for close to 2 months, and we just ended it this week. And this will be like, this won't air for like another month, but he was a decade younger than me, and a little over a decade younger than me. And I will say to you, I have literally been praying to Sky Daddy. Haha, it's a joke. Sky Daddy is God. I pray to God. But I've been literally praying to Sky Daddy, I just need good dating experiences this year. It's been so bad that I just want beautiful dating experiences, and I got it. And I'm really bummed and sad that it didn't work out. Timing's an issue. And I'm not saying, here's the thing, whatever's meant for you will be.
Yeah, you can't mess it up.
You can't mess it up. Right now in this particular time, his life is a little bit uncertain career-wise, whatever, he's figuring it out. It's not the right time for us. And that's kind of an issue with the age thing, right? Because I'm a little bit more established in my career, even though mentally I feel like I don't know what my life looks like next month. I don't know what my life looks like next year. Everything I thought my life was has been changed and kind of ripped from me in a death rebirth kind of situation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's okay. Like, I understand. I don't know what my life looks like, but the difference is like, I'm a little bit more established in like my job and whatever, things like that, I guess. So timing's at play here. I'm really bummed. It was the most beautiful dating experience I've ever had. It's sad when it was so good and it's just not the right time.
Yeah,
timing's everything. I believe in divine timing. I also believe that like no matter what, like what's meant for you will find you. So like if it's meant to be, it'll come back and at the right time for both of us. And if it's not, I'm so freaking grateful for what it taught me. So this is what I'll say. This man is a decade younger than me. And normally guys that age don't take me seriously. It's just like a fun, like older girl thing. And this year I'm like intentionally, at first, like the first year post divorce, I was like, yeah, it's so hot. Like I'm actually intentionally dating. I want to get remarried. So when I found out that this person was this age, I just was like, oh, like I'm older than you. Like I'm
it's okay. Never mind.
Right. Exactly. Like it's cool. Like guys your age don't take me seriously. I want to be taken seriously. Like I want to have another baby, possibly another baby. That's why it does work right now in this current situation, why younger will still work for me. If it's in 4 to 5 years, no, we're talking different a little bit.
For sure.
But so anyways, I met this guy on an airplane and he sat behind me on my way to Austin. And it was so funny. By the end of the trip or the end of the flight, we were at baggage claim or like waiting for my Uber and we were making out and we hung out all weekend. And I kind of just thought it was like kind of just going to be like a little fun, little fling thing. And he kept texting me and I was like, dude, like you're a lot younger than me. I'm a lot older than you. Like it's cool. Like, you know what I mean? And he was like, why would we stop talking? Like we had such a beautiful connection. And anyways, so I was like, okay. I was like, I just need you to know I'm intentionally dating, and he was so down. Anyways, it was really the most beautiful dating experience I have ever had. And it's such a bummer that it didn't work out at this time. But my girlfriend had a really great thing. She was like, how amazing that you got to experience a breath of fresh air in this dating scene.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it was. Like it has given me so much hope that there are good men. But explain to me that this man is a decade younger. I have 40+ year olds that ghost me, that treat me casually, that treat me like they don't even know how to date properly. Like they don't even follow through or plan dates. Anyways, this guy, I had never once questioned his intentions with me. He never played games. He was so consistent in his communication. He put me in a secure attachment style. Like I didn't have to worry. It was always consistent. He came to visit me one weekend. It was amazing. Like, he's actually supposed to be here this weekend, but we decided to call it this week. So that was a bummer. But he was honest. He was consistent. I never had to guess his intentions. And I think that's what the whole thing is. I want to feel safe, seen, heard. The things that I have been insecure about my age or how I was raised, I have some, just because of my background has made me a little bit quirky and different. And he saw me for that and he embraced it. So age is nothing. Like a man that's over a decade younger than me was the best dating experience I've had post divorce in my whole dating.
I was actually having a conversation this morning that had a lot to do with like the polarity in dating currently, where men are hardwired to provide and protect.
Right.
And society has somewhat eliminated the need for both of those things.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So it was actually, I was on a date and I was having this conversation this morning.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I agree with that. And then I said, but the problem is that men are so linear that they forget that there's different ways to provide and protect. So
yes, it's not just about financial.
Yeah, right. An independent, strong, confident woman doesn't necessarily need you to pay the bills, be the breadwinner, have her barefoot and pregnant at home. What she needs is to feel safe in her emotions. She
100%.
needs to know that, like, I mean, and I'm not speaking for all women, but I can speak for myself. I want a dude that will allow me the space to soften, that will allow me the space to also be a little wild and fun, and know that no matter what version of me he's getting in that moment, that I'm never going to be made to feel wrong,
right,
or crazy,
right,
or too much.
Right.
And because dudes have less value in the provide and connect realm and arena, they're walking around with these fucking huge chips on their shoulders, making women feel wrong or too much. For what? Because you can't rise,
right,
and be what it is that I actually need in this moment.
Yeah.
I don't need you to pay my bill.
Right.
I need you to tell me, hey, tell me how you feel about this.
We got this.
Right? We can do this together. Let's talk it out.
Yep. Yeah. I think because we have our own careers, that is genuinely what I'm looking for, is emotional safety, providing in that way. Like, yeah, exactly. And that's what he gave me. Like, it was incredible. It's a balance. Like, as far as a man, like, you want a man to be the man, right? And like, it doesn't matter really how much money you make, but there's an energy about it that, like, you need to have drive. You need to have drive to be better. And that's the only way, the reason I say that, like, I understand the provider mentality that way, because it's not necessarily about how much you make, but it's about a drive that you want to get better, and you want,
or just a level of
not complacency.
Yeah, in partnerships, you always want to elevate each other.
Right.
So if I'm already making da 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 da, it's not that you have to make such, but I want you to be doing whatever steps you need to grow your business,
right?
Like, so that it's not, if the guy this morning said this, he was like, I want to be the king and I want to have a queen, that our kingdoms are fully flourished and we just bring them together.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
And that makes sense, right? Like,
right.
But it's so hard, because I feel like in so many cases, men are walking around here with that old frame of thought where they don't see themselves as having the value necessary. And so that's where the insecurities start to pop up, and that's
for sure.
I feel like dudes will run in
they
the
will
opposite direction.
Well, they will, and I understand it. Like, I think as that provider, if they are not in a position where they can see it through at that particular moment, they are not going to see it through. It's a balance. I don't need a man to make more money than me, but I do want him to have an energy. And we all have our stuff that prevents us. We all have our mental struggles. We all have things that prevent us from flourishing and growing. But it's like, take action. Like,
yeah. I mean, especially even if, like, in terms of, like, with the last guy, that I was talking to, he would talk about his business and his eyes would light up, and he
I love that.
didn't have the same, like, he had a studio apartment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I own a 4-bedroom house
in
Summerlin. Like, so there was definitely a level of difference, but I could care less. Like, I know. I could care less.
Me and you are different breeds, though. I think men think different.
And I know that he was like, I don't want you to think that I'm a bum and da 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 da. I'm like, listen, I don't care about that. I care about shared experiences. I cared about,
and, like, can we build together?
Safe. Yeah. And is there commonality, and is there, that's what matters to me. Like, I don't care how much money you have in your savings, or what stocks and bonds you have, or your 401k. Like, I don't care about that, because all of that can go in an instant as well. Money comes and goes.
It's, can I build a life with you? Do you have the drive and energy to...
Do you care about something more than yourself?
Correct. And the emotional, the kindness, the safety.
Yeah, all of those things matter so much more. But I think that that's one of the dynamics that's really difficult. And then to boot, and I think I talked about this on our first one too, is that there's so much accessibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this dude talked to me for 2 weeks and then doesn't
It's
talk
the
to me
too many
ever
options
again.
problem.
Yeah, it doesn't talk to me again, and then he'll just be swiping right back on having another person. But the thing is that the cycle will continue with people like that, right? That don't see themselves and don't face it. Wherein I don't want that cycle for myself. Like I
No.
don't want at some point, I don't know when that is going to be. I'm either going to meet the person I'll spend the rest of my life with, or I will spend the rest of my life alone.
Yeah.
And either option is fine.
You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's the point you have to get. Like, can I cultivate a life that's so beautiful that I can be alone?
I mean, I feel like my life is already so beautiful that I can be alone. I want to share my beautiful life with someone. I want someone to share their beautiful life with me because it makes life so much more fulfilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much more enjoyable when you're learning and growing with another human being, when you have intimacy, when you have that rock that will be there,
Mm-hmm.
that safe space for you to land on.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's important. And I think that that's what is missing in today's dating realm. I think that there's so many like boundaries and games and accessibility. And
that's why when you find something rare, it's like, I just told him, I was like, I know timing's an issue, but I find it kind of weird to walk away from something that has a lot of good, but I get it. Timing's everything. You don't feel,
I don't believe that. I need you to know that. I don't believe timing is everything.
You don't believe timing's everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, explain that.
Timing is what you make it. It's about like a level of commitment and understanding.
Wow.
So I think even if things are difficult in terms of long distance,
Mm-hmm.
you can make that work.
Absolutely, if you want to
have that level of commitment and interest.
Right.
Same with timing.
Yep.
Timing is nothing more than just an obstacle or a hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to do the work to get over the hiccup?
And I think the difference is when me and you, we come from long relationships. Mm-hmm. That is something that I don't know if people understand fully how much work a relationship is. And it's a constant choice. Like, I want to do this with you, mm-hmm. regardless of like, things aren't going to be super easy.
Like, think about just the timing. I can talk about like in my marriage, like the timing was not ideal. Like we met and got pregnant right away. And we curated a 20-year life off of that.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
It could have been an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was.
Yeah.
But that's life, right?
You're right.
Journey is always
okay.
Like that.
So I love it. Heidi doesn't believe in timing is everything.
No. I mean, I feel as if with, for example, the younger guy that said, our big picture things don't line up in this timeline. Mm-hmm. That is different.
That is different. And I understand that. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. The big picture stuff, like he had to have like a hard pass on not having a family of his own and not having kids of his own by the woman that he wants to share that with. Like, so
that's the only way I feel like the age, I think age is just a number, and I genuinely like it does not matter because
right, but there are dudes out there that are young that don't want to procreate.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's okay. Yeah. That is the only really big issue I feel like, other than maybe like career, like just starting, you're already established, but like you can work through things like that together.
And anything
you can build
can
together.
Be a generalization, right? Like you think, oh, an older woman, blah, 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 has this, and this. And that's not necessarily the case.
No.
There are women my age that are hot ass messes, mm-hmm. that don't have their lives together, that cannot formulate a sentence.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a fact.
Yeah.
Just like there are men in their 20s that have their priorities straight, mm-hmm. and they can say, I'm not looking for a relationship right now because I'm career focused, but I do enjoy spending time with you. There's just not a long future for us. Mm-hmm. Okay, well that fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're in your power and you're being accurate and you're being mature about it.
Yeah.
And then there are 50-year-old men that can't get past their own insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not about how old you are. Mm-mm. It's about what you're willing to put into life.
Yeah, that's the thing about, exactly.
And so I don't think that timing is everything, because when the right person comes along, or even if you want to be the right person, then it's about effort, consistency, commitment.
Yeah.
Like anything in life.
And I think like letting go and detaching and just trusting so much in God, the universe, like everything. I always just keep repeating, like, what's meant for you will never pass you by. It might take detours, but if it's genuinely meant for you, then it'll work out. It'll be fine. So if in all things, like that was a bummer, but I'm like, if it's meant to be, like it'll be later down the road, like it's okay. And then if not, there's something better, like aligned for me and for that person. But yeah, I'm so freaking grateful that I had such a good dating experience. I am so grateful because it's just given me like, oh, he set the bar.
Yeah.
He set the bar. And he's hella younger than me. And it's
in the last, I guess I'm just going to say like the last 3 dudes, for me, the learning experience has been to have a lot more introspection and reflection. What is it about me that is having the cycle stay the same, where it's
right, like where's the lesson that you need to learn?
Like what's the lesson? And at the end of the day, I'm still choosing, even though I'm choosing outside of the norm, right? I'm choosing people that require validation to some respect.
Interesting.
That are not confident, that have some form of issue.
What do you think the lesson is?
That I have to stop trying to save people and being in that nurturing energy that wants to give people more of a chance than they deserve or that they earn, right?
And seeing the potential, because I think seeing the potential, but like seeing them at face value,
it's like so much more important than the potential.
Correct.
Like my best friend and business partner was like, you make excuses for everyone. Literally every human being in your life.
You're like, it's okay.
Yeah, you make excuses and you find like the silver lining in everything and everyone. And she's like, who does that for you? Who has to do that for you? Does anyone have to make an excuse for you in your life? And I'm like, no. And she's like, so maybe it's time that you stop making excuses for others.
Right. Yeah.
And so I guess it's been a hard lesson, but a valid one for sure.
So what's your goal for 2025?
A healthy, consistent, committed relationship.
I love that. I think that's the same for me. Yeah. It's funny because like 2023, I was like, all right, the goal for 2024 is to find a boyfriend. And then I had some really, really, really horrible things happen to me. And I have a lot to say. I don't know how to say it. And I'm so sick of suffering this year from it that I just don't want to. But I had some really bad things that happened from my ex. It was really hard. And that's fine. And the level of forgiveness that has taken, but unfortunately it made me emotionally unavailable. And I realized that because that happened at the very beginning of 2024. And so I realized like, wow, at first, when you're in some really hard stuff, you're in fight or flight. You don't realize like how much it affects you. And then when the dust settled and I realized I was going to be okay, I kind of have been struggling with my mental health. It was just it's very painful when people do bad things to you.
For sure.
People that you love and thought they had your back. And things are okay now. And, apologies have been said and things have been, rectified financially and all these things. But like, yeah, it just sucked. And so my 2024 goal was to find a boyfriend. And I just realized like, damn, there was more shedding that needed to be done for me. And so, yeah, I dated. It has been pretty uneventful in 2024. I was like, I love my dating wrapped at the end of the year. And I was like, damn, I think I just made out with a lot of people and I didn't really date a lot of people. But I'm really looking forward to 2025 because I feel like the amount of deaths and rebirths that I've had to go through have been crazy. But I feel like this year was the last of like the shedding. I mean, maybe not. I just hope not.
I'm gonna probably call bullshit on that.
Damn.
Just because life is a journey. Yeah.
Right. Not saying that but I'm like, okay.
But remember that this whole thing, the journey is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so there will be a billion more. And I can only say that securely because I am a decade older than you.
Yes. You're like, oh, just buckle up, Jen.
Yeah. I'm just a decade older than you, if not more. I don't even remember. But
I think we're a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the idea is to get comfortable with discomfort and remind yourself that no matter how many sheddings or rebirths have to happen, that they're all in the grand scheme of things for you.
Right. And I've always said that life happens. I know that we'll look back at this and I'll just be so grateful for it. If you're lucky enough to get to experience a death, I listened to a meditation and I was like, damn, but she just shifted it. She was like, if you're lucky enough to actually experience that, like a death and rebirth, and there's only been a couple times in my life that's happened, and it completely altered and shifted every part of my life. And I feel like it happened when I got postpartum depression with my daughter. That was the first crushing thing that happened to me, but it pushed me. I was not even doing hair then. I quit hair because I thought I wasn't good enough. It was crazy. That happened. The universe kicked my ass. I rebuilt myself and I realized, no, you're running from something. Shifted everything. My whole life changed. I went back to doing hair, got divorced, mid 30s. That was devastating, but also necessary. And then this year, finally, some things happened that needed to shed. I mean, as painful as it is, but this meditation was if you are lucky enough to experience that, on the other side, all the really, really hard, bad things, have always shifted you into the right path. And so yeah, I mean, this year was just a lot of shedding and more pain. And I just think 2025 is going to be such a good year for people. And I think I can finally, I'm ready to have a really beautiful relationship. I want to meet my person, that I want to spend. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay.
There's something to be said too for allowing yourself to release the pressure of finding your person. Right. The pressure is a lot more energetically draining
for sure
than the actuality of doing it.
Well, just allowing as well. It's not in your feminine energy.
Right.
If you sit back and allow and just.
But yeah, constantly being I want to find my person. I feel like I need
You're
to
kind
find
of in the
person.
chasing and a lack energy. Yeah.
And so that's why for me, this year is more about if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm good.
Remember the saying? We'll see.
Yeah.
That's Heidi's saying. We'll see.
We'll see. Actually, we'll see is still super prevalent for me.
We'll see.
I will constantly be yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I love it.
And so when it's released, even if it's released negatively, if it's released good or bad, either way, it's just the universe's way of moving out what's not for you and bringing in more space.
For sure. Okay, last thing, because this kind of got deep and not so much like a ho 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 episode. Did you do anything wild this year? A story for the ho?
I mean,
ho.
We did start off with my my Nashville experience of body weight
and tequila and men.
Cowboys. Yeah.
My fun little ho 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 experience this year is that guy, Airplane Man, that I adore. And so I've only done this once, but one time I dated this guy and he was awful. It was a bad pancake, right? So I sent him and his roommate a box anonymously. I mean, they knew it was me. Hello. But and it was a chocolate dick and it just said eat a dick. And I thought that was great, right? I was you suck. Great. You actually suck. So but this time when this ended this week, I was I freaking adore that man. He treated me so good. So I was I had to mail back a hat that he left at my house. And it was also long distance. Hello. Okay. I probably should say that. So I had to mail back his hat. And I was you know what? That man deserves a thong. That man deserves a thong of mine. So I mailed him a thong with his hat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely. Sprayed it with some perfume. Sent it for the memes. For the memes. I hope you always remember me. No, yeah. So that was, yeah. Other than that, I've just been out in these streets just making out, I think. Really. Yeah. just healing and making out.
My bestie is the queen of makeout sessions as well. Up until now, like she has found somebody that she's settled kind of down with.
Good, recently. I love that.
Yeah, she's really into him, and so I'm rooting for this guy so hard because she's happy and stuff.
Good.
But up until that, she's like, making out doesn't count. You can make out as many times as you want. Like, it doesn't count. And
making out is so underrated. I freaking love making out.
I love a makeout sesh. I do. I love a makeout sesh. However, I can never just do the tip. Okay? It's not a thing for me.
But I want to make out for like 45 minutes.
I would make out for longer than that.
Yeah, for sure.
But when everything starts to get a little more escalated, like, I don't have an off button.
Yeah.
And so making out for me is dangerous. So I have retracted that entirely.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I've had to. Because for me, I just
love making out.
I do too. Like, I really do. I love making out. But I also know that I don't have an off button. Like, I don't have an off switch.
I could get a gold medal in making out. I think I should join the Olympics. You know why? I'm going to say something so insane. I should probably take this out. If you grew up Mormon, you will have a gold medal in dry humping and making out.
I can understand that. Well, I'm a Cuban girl. I was never Mormon.
Yeah.
I'm a Cuban girl that grew up in Miami. Exactly. So the spice is real.
Spice is real. I love it.
The passion is real. And I am not a dry hump girl.
No, well, I'm not anymore. I was just saying that's how I grew up. Like, you know what I mean? Like when
but I mean, even like in makeout sessions, there's a level of that.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and so for me, that always escalates, and I just
for sure.
So I'm an all-in girl.
Yeah,
like it's a yes or it's a no. And so my thing is, it's either a fuck yes or it's a hell no.
Okay, got it.
And so now there's like, because I don't believe in that in between.
If we making out, we're going all the way.
No, I mean, obviously it takes a little bit of time to develop that, but it has to be short, sweet, timed, goodnight kiss where I'm like running to my car. We're nowhere near cars, kind of a thing, because, you know, cars can be dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's like a goodbye kiss at the restaurant or...
Yeah, I'm not talking about,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if it gets a little more intrusive than that, then it escalates a little too much. And I'm trying to step into my good girl era.
Oh, I love it. Okay, good girl era. So next year, girl era.
As good as I'm gonna be. But.
Right. No, I just think
cheers, ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho. I just think making out, like, if you give me a good makeout session, like, that is like so fun. Best foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho. Thanks, baby, for being on the pod.
Always.
See you next year. Hopefully Santa brings you a beautiful relationship under your tree.
Oh, that would be cute.
I'm always open.
Same.
#open. Love you. Bye.